They say children are the flowers of life. They bring joy and happiness in ways that nothing else can. But what happens when this innocence is taken away from children in the most brutal way possible? In this video, we will be discussing the tragic case of a 3-year-old child who was stabbed to death by a woman. So subscribe to the channel and watch this video to the end. A woman named Bionca Ellis, at the tender age of 32, finds herself in the spotlight of the Cuyahoga Court of Common Pleas. Her carefree smile and traces of laughter might lead you to believe this is all just a big misunderstanding. But no, as Judge Nancy Margaret reveals, her charges are anything but mild. She's staring down the barrel of serious accusations: murder, aggravated murder, attempted murder, felonious assault, child endangerment, tampering with evidence, and a little touch of misdemeanor theft thrown in for good measure. It's a cocktail of crimes that would erase any smile from most people's faces, but not Bionca. Miss Ellis takes things up a notch. Not only does she infuse the courtroom with her shameless smile, but she also turns directly toward the camera and grins. Unfazed, she pleads not guilty to the charges. These aren't minor accusations we're talking about here. They stem from an incident at Giant Eagle, a well-known grocery store in North Olmsted, where Wood's murder took place. A mere week ago, we were struck by an unspeakable tragedy, the father confessed, his voice barely concealing the tremor of his emotions. He said, "The void left by our little boy is irreplaceable, a never-ending grief that our family, including our other children, will carry forever." According to the police, the dreadful incident began when Ellis crossed paths with young Julian and his mother, Margot, age 37, as they were leaving the local Giant Eagle grocery store. It seems that Ellis, armed with a knife allegedly stole from a Volunteers of America thrift store nearby, trailed them to their vehicle. Without warning or provocation, Ellis allegedly launched an attack on the child who was innocently seated in the shopping cart, landing blows to his face and back. As Margot tried desperately to shield her child and pull him to safety, she too was assaulted by the merciless act. The police were quick to apprehend Ellis, who was discovered a few blocks away from the crime scene, still apathetically clutching the blood-soaked knife. In the blink of an eye, the calm routine of the grocery store turned into a scene of chaos. Paramedics, in a desperate bid, frantically tried to save a young boy's life. They swiftly whisked him and his mother off to St. John Medical Center. However, tragedy struck. Young Julian's injuries were overwhelmingly critical, and heartbreakingly, he couldn't win the battle for his life. His mother, on the other hand, is on the road to recovery, with a full health revival anticipated. The motive behind the sudden and horrific assault by Ellis is shrouded in mystery. It all unfolded as the family was exiting the grocery store on that fateful day. The police disclosed that the Wood family had no prior interaction or connection with Ellis. The police further classified the attack as a shocking, random act of violence. Ellis, the alleged assailer, maintained a tight-lipped stance, offering no hint or confession for her horrifying action. Amidst this heart-wrenching ordeal, the Wood family, especially Julian's grieving father, Jared Wood, was left with an immense void. He had a tearful plea for justice, appealing the judge to do everything in your power to keep this beast caged. The prosecutors heeded his plea and announced their intent to pursue the utmost punishment, the death penalty. Ellis, according to surveillance footage, is considered to have followed Julian and his mother out of a local grocery store, armed with a knife. In retrospect, there are no previous instances of mental health issues in Ellis's record, but given the recent, unprovoked, and brutal acts she's accused of, there's a cloud of doubt about the accuracy of this information. As we all know, sometimes things aren't as they appear on the surface. Additionally, a troubling fact emerged from the court records earlier this week. Ellis's defense attorney shed light on the possibility of significant mental health challenges. When Ellis first appeared via a video feed in court, she kept her head down, refraining from responding to the judge's queries. This included questions about her understanding of the indictment. So what happened next? Judge Russo decided to take a proactive step. He directed an attorney from the public defender's office to visit the Cuyahoga County Jail with a mission. Ellis needed to understand the charges levied against her, so the attorney was to read the indictment to her. Fast forward about 45 minutes and we see Ellis back in court. This time, she chooses to respond, pleading not guilty to the charges. Justice has its wheels turning as Judge Russo set Ellis's bond at a staggering $5 million. But the court wasn't done with her just yet. Ellis was ordered to make another court appearance in due course. As we go along, Julian's family is diligently gathering funds for his final rites, legal expenses, and Margot's healing process. With heavy hearts, they put forth their shared feelings in an open message. "We are drowning in a sea of sorrow," the family expressed collectively. The tragic incident leaves us without any answer as to its cause or motive. It was an unforeseen burst of aggression. There wasn't any previous conflict. The people involved were strangers to each other. This was a wicked, unanticipated attack. "The aftermath of this tragic event has left our family in ruins," they said. "She has caused immeasurable pain. She took something precious from us that we can never replace." Now let's break it down, folks. It seems this situation could potentially turn into a death penalty case according to the charges levied. There was an attempt by the lawyer to dismiss the formal reading of the charges, but the judge was quick to react. The judge noted, "Considering the seriousness of this case, it could escalate into a capital murder situation. I firmly believe dismissing it isn't the correct step." As for Ellis, she wasn't exactly wearing a long face when the accusations were leveled at her. In fact, she was caught smiling, taking the allegations quite lightly, it would appear. When Russo, the justice, asked Ellis about her plea for a moment, she acted quite nonchalant. She chuckled at first and responded with a sigh instead of the expected and appropriate yes or no. But in the end, she did voice a yes. Thankfully, the judge was present to interject and help her understand the gravity of what she was participating in. It's heartbreaking to see such a senseless act of violence occur. The Wood family now faces an unimaginable loss, and their pain is only compounded by the fact that there seems to be no clear motive for Ellis's actions. It raises questions about mental health and how it can sometimes manifest in dangerous ways. The court proceedings also shed light on potential challenges with Ellis's mental health. While this doesn't excuse her actions, it does bring up important discussions about proper support and treatment for individuals struggling with mental illness. Julian's family is left to pick up the pieces and seek justice for their son. Amidst the chaos and confusion, they are left to grieve and try to make sense of a seemingly senseless act. This tragedy is a reminder that we must address issues of mental health in our society and provide support for those who may need it. It also highlights the importance of seeking help when we see warning signs in others so that similar incidents can be prevented in the future. Let us hope that justice will be served for Julian and his family. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more content like this. Thank you for watching. Rest in peace, Julian. You will never be forgotten.